I think everybody's come. Have you noticed how everyone's filled up from the back forward as well? It's like when you were schooling.
A gentleman walked in before, and he started talking, and it's always about how people imagine New Brighton. They've always got this sort of like idea inside their head about what New Brighton is like. What I actually mean about imagining things is that our mind has the ability to form sort of mental images and sensations and concepts, and sometimes these imaginings are actually expressed in art and writing, or even in a simple sort of snapshot. So every time somebody goes down to the prom, takes a photograph of New Brighton, they're taking something which they feel sort of maybe represents the sensations of the day, whether they've enjoyed themselves or the children playing or whatever it is, or it's a view. So they're collecting things, and these things sort of pop up all over the place. They either pop up in people's albums, or ever since New Brighton existed, people have been coming here and writing about the place or painting it. And later on, as it became more sort of commercial place, people started producing posters, guidebooks, and then postcards as well, to remind people or to bring people into the town. So the whole sort of history of sort of any type of place is usually about imagining, and New Brighton is very much part of that. And I think it's probably a bigger part than, say, the Wirral or the local area, because there's so many things which people sort of remember. So when that gentleman came in, his imagination, it was sparked by coming here probably when he was a child, arriving on the ferry, and then seeing all these sort of wonderful things in the town. But that sort of still continues, and it's not just in the past, it's also sort of going on at the present. So we've got the first slide, yeah. And I thought I'd start with a slide of myself to sort of reinforce that. That's me sort of circa 1963, 64. And as you can see, my imagination about the place is very strongly sort of wrapped up about having an enjoyable time here with my little boat, which I've actually still got in the loft. But one of the interesting things about imagination, about taking snapshots, is that things change. So if you look at that sort of photograph in that sort of lovely Kodak colour, besides seeing me wearing sort of Marks and Spencer's clothes that don't exist anymore, and a nice little brown and white battery operated boat, the actual boating lake is gone, but it's still inside my head. That's how I kind of remember it. Most of the houses, strangely enough, are still there, which is quite unusual for New Brighton, but that part of New Brighton is the conservation area, as we know, and they've remained. But that's sort of very strongly sort of reinforced in my mind. So when I came to actually live here, I remembered those kinds of things, and it was one of the reasons I was sort of drawn to that. And often, sometimes people who come into the town are often drawn by their sort of past experiences. So what I want to do for the talk is actually talk about, first of all, about how writers have actually responded to New Brighton. Then I'm going to talk about how artists have actually responded to it. Then have a look at sort of photography and poetry.